Hello and welcome back. So as I said in the previous video, the fire cavern is right over there, but we are not going to head there just yet. We're going to open up the menu and check out the junction system, because although we just ran through a tutorial of how junctioning works, it didn't actually do anything for us. So I am going to give Shiva to... no, I'm going to give Quetzalcoatl to Quistis. And I'm going to give her GF, draw and item, and Quetzalcoatl doesn't have any passive, so I can't give her any of those. As for Squall, I'm going to obviously give him Shiva and the same commands. Let's walk around a little bit until we get into a random encounter. There's one. Took a little bit. Final Fantasy VIII uses active time battle like any Final Fantasy game after 4, and which means I'm going to pause so I don't just keep getting attacked by enemies and explain some of the weirdness of the combat. Final Fantasy VIII is unique in the sense that grinding will literally never ever help you in any situation because all of the enemies in this game scale to your level. The only exception to that rule, I think, is the boss we're going to face in the Fire Cavern, but we'll get to that. I say that a lot this playthrough, I apologize. I'm probably going to be a while before I stop saying that. However, battles aren't completely useless. The experience you get from them is not the most beneficial. However, a certain command that you can do right here, the draw command, we received 7 fire and 7 scans. Magic in 8 does not work like magic in any other Final Fantasy game. I guess you could argue 15 sort of works similarly, but there is no MP. You simply stockpile copies of a magic, and you can use them, and it depletes from your stockpile. So in the beginning, there are a few methods to get magic from items that aren't just drawing them from the enemy. But in this point in the game, the best way to do it is to just stand in battle and draw from the enemy. It can be kind of mind-numbing, which is why I'm actually going to pause the recording right now and absorb some magic. And the reason I want to do that, I want as much magic as possible, will be explained once we enter the Fire Cavern, but for now I'm going to draw, and I will see you after I have gotten a significant amount. Alright, so I've been sitting here for just maybe 5-ish minutes drawing fire over and over again, and now when I try to, it says that my stock is full, which is 100, by the way. You can hold a maximum of 100 of each magic. And I'm gonna finish this battle now, because I don't really mind getting a little bit of experience. Squall starts the game with 100% accuracy. Like, his accuracy is completely maxed out, which means he can never miss at any point in the entire game doing auto attack. And also, if you hit R1 at the right time, I'll put the controller up to the microphone so you can hear. Well, that's embarrassing. Let's try one more time. There it is. Okay. If you hit R1 at the time that his sword strikes the enemy, you can guarantee a crit, and that's every single time that he attacks. It's kind of insane. A crit does 50% extra damage. there's some AP for our Guardian Forces. Speaking of which, if we go into our menu here and go to the GF section and choose Quetzalcoatl and Shiva, we can select what skill we want their AP to go to. And for Quetzalcoatl first, I'm going to choose HP Junction. And for Shiva, I'm going to learn Strength Junction. And we're about to learn what I can do with those fires that I just stocked, those 100 fires, as soon as we head inside. I'm gonna save before that though. Alrighty. I will do my best to pay attention, Quistis. Basically, if a Guardian Force has learned stat /J in its learning list that we just looked at, it means that you can equip the magic that you have stocked onto that stat. And the more magic you have stocked, the more of that magic you have junctioned onto your stat, the higher your stat, that stat will be. It's very strange. It's not only is the magic system weird, if you use magic, it literally lessens your stats. If you use one or two, it's really not that big of a deal stat-wise, but it is a loss that is noticeable. I'm very grateful for the auto junction feature. And this just explains that I can hit R1 to do the crit that we were talking about before. Okay, so let's junction. I gave Quetzalcoatl to Quistis, who can only junction things to magic, which just means their magic stat can be raised to nothing else at this point. For Squall, only his spirit stat can be added to, which is helpful because spirit is the stat that affects how well you can draw magic from the enemy. But anyway, now that the gameplay mechanics are aside, let's do this Fire Cavern prerequisite for the Seed exam. Alright, so this option, for a large portion of the beginning of the game, we are being evaluated, and at the end of the evaluation, it will culminate in our seed ranking. And we'll talk more about it later, but I basically want to do this as quickly as possible with the lowest amount of time, and 10 minutes is more than enough. It's really not that big a place. And there's the timer, which goes down also in the menu, I believe, so I'm gonna have to be very diligent. And there are random encounters that we're just gonna physical attack through. love to show off summons, but we'll get the chance, and they take up too much time at this point. Nice. About the level scaling, if I remember correctly, the level scaling isn't constant. It's you move through tiers of power that are based on your level, and there are 3 of them, and the enemies will scale to those tiers. I could be wrong, though. That's just my understanding. Oh, that's an unfortunate time to get a random encounter right at the end there. Yeah, it's really small. Oh, the bombs are a little tougher. Oh, jeez, that's too tough. Okay, let's see what's waiting for us at the end here. Here's our exposure to the awesome boss theme and Ifrit. Now Ifrit can hit hard, but I think we'll be okay. We're gonna start by drawing from a little bit. So he has cure magic on him, the lowest tier of cure magic, and interestingly we can draw that and then immediately cast it if we want to. I'll do it right now just because Quistis is getting a little low. All we have to do is go to draw, choose cure, and then cast on herself. I'm not going to waste too much time drawing because we are at a time limit. Let's do some summoning. So as you're summoning in Final Fantasy VIII, that is the numbers that appear are the summon's HP. And if a boss attacks you, it takes away from the summon's HP instead of the character's HP. Quetzalcoatl is very cool and very loud. Shiva's even better though. I love Ifrit's reaction there. So Quetzalcoatl takes way too long for not that much damage. So I'm just gonna have Quistis auto attack while I keep summoning Shiva with Squall. probably shouldn't take too many more summons. I'm gonna guess 2 or 3, 4 tops. If the iteration of Ifrit in this game is interesting, his horns are just huge, like crazy huge. I think that message means we're pretty close. Ooh, over 100, wow. And yes, you do have to sit through the summon animations every single time. There's an ability that Guardian Forces can unlock called Boost that lets you essentially button mash to power them up, which makes watching the summon animation a little bit more active, but for the most part, I hope you like watching summon animations. Oh, maybe I overestimated my ability here with the timer. 2 minutes got pretty close. I'm gonna guess that that's it. Nope. Okay, timer's low, so I'm just gonna auto attack. Just a little bit faster. There it is. So we got Ifrit's Triple Triad card as well, which is really, really good card. And here's another tutorial. Basically, all this is saying is that certain Guardian Forces have a skill that lets you equip magic onto Squall's auto attack, which will then inflict. For example, you can put sleep on his gunblade so that every attack has a chance to inflict sleep on the enemy. Also, this tutorial is a really big jerk for having such powerful magic on the list when I just have 100 fires and a handful of scans and cures only on Quistis. I want to say that the timer isn't ticking down during this part, but if it is, that's mean. Oh, I think it was. I think since the timer's gone. Or I might be misremembering, and maybe it does not time you when you're leaving. guess Squall wasn't at 99 fires. Or 100. And also, as you may have noticed, Ifrit does not give experience, or did not give experience, and that's true for all bosses in this game. Bosses just give a large amount of AP instead of experience. Speaking of Ifrit, we should probably put him on somebody. Let's give him to Squall because he's the protagonist. Which is great because now we can put fire on his. Yeah, now we can put fire on his strength stat so he does more damage. Different magic scales, better or worse to different stats. I want to say that fire magic junctions to strength pretty well. Especially this early on for our purposes. Oh, we can kill a single bomb, that's fine. That's a considerably more amount of damage than he was doing before. I really enjoy the tapping R1 to guarantee a crit with the gunblade. It makes stacking feel a little bit more accurate. It's not, or active rather, not accurate. Squall is the one who's very accurate. Well, even if we screwed up the time on the exam, hopefully I can make up for it with the rest of the parameters for our seed ranking. Let me auto-junction Quistis to see if Cure helps her out more. Okay, now it doesn't. As you would expect, our destination is to now head back to Balam Garden. If we wanted to, we could head to that town over there, but we have to do it eventually anyway. I believe that all enemies in a certain area have a preset magic. So since I already drew all the magic that I can, I don't think those enemies will ever have, or not because I drew, but I think that those enemies will always have fire and scan. So if I get into an encounter, wow. I thought I was loading into Balam Garden, but nope. Should be able to take a few steps without getting into an encounter. Make it inside the school. There we go. Literally one step away. As you can imagine, experience does help it gain more power, but it's not as necessary as getting AP for abilities. For a second there, it showed her refine ability, which a lot of Guardian Forces have, if not all of them. It lets you turn items into magic, which is an alternate way to get magic, which is a lot more entertaining than just standing in a battle and drawing constantly. So it might be more beneficial to choose to learn that early on, just so that way we can get out of the way and then get onto the fun stuff like junctioning and damage up and stuff. Always appreciate the good luck. So we have to change, and so the goal is now, oh, we can draw. So we're gonna head to the library. So yeah, draw points aren't exactly a ton of magic, but every little bit helps. I really love the way that the PlayStation era Final Fantasies use pre-rendered backgrounds. They always remind me of point-and-click adventure games. Save here really quick, and then we'll head to the library, and then we'll head to the dormitories. I forget which magic this is. Oh, Isuna, nice. In 15. Definitely helpful. Isuna, I don't believe Isuna junctions well to anything. I'm not 100%, but it's very helpful because it removes status effects. If you ever see Isuna in any Final Fantasy game, that's what it does. We're just gonna walk to the dormitories. I believe they're on the next screen on the other side of the fountain. Let's check the sign. Oh, the parking lot. And now I'm forgetting the layout of the school. Let me double check the place I just passed. Training center. Okay, so it is further. Here they are. But, of course, we'll double check to make sure. Yeah, okay. Just walked right through that person. Alrighty. So this is Squall's room, or more accurately, I believe, this is Squall's room. Yeah, it is. And so this is where we are going to save our game and call it. The next video exciting sequence, and I'm looking forward to playing it. So I'll see you then. Have a good one.